This report was published on January 3rd, 2024 at 9:29 a.m. EST, signed by Jean Mackenzie from the BBC News in Wajima, Japan. The title of the news is "The fishing town of Wajima on Japan's west coast is burnt and broken." On its center, the remnants of this old marketplace are still smouldering, as if an explosion has just erupted, wiping out an area the size of a football pitch. A fire broke out when the New Year's Day earthquake hit and spread instantly, incinerating the wooden stalls and some surrounding homes. Twisted fragments of corrugated iron are scattered among the ash. Firefighters are still combining the smoking debris, checking for unextinguished flames. Throughout the town, people's traditional wooden homes lie splintered on the ground, collapsed, not made to withstand Japan's endless earthquakes. It has taken us 2 days to get this close to the epicentre of the earthquake, the country's most powerful in 12 years. We have lost count of how many times we were forced to turn around because the road had been so severely severed. This has hampered the rescue effort. The search team with sniffer dogs arrived in Wajima just hours before us. They spent the afternoon searching the collapsed homes, one at a time, not knowing whether there were people inside each house or not, let alone whether there were survivors. A lack of information is slowing down their ability to find people. One of the residents, Keiko Kato, ran to greet the rescue workers. Her husband's relatives were trapped inside one of the houses she believed is 95 years old, and her niece and her daughter. She has not heard from them since the quake and has already searched most of the evacuation centers in vain. But the house was so destroyed the dog could not go deep enough in, and the team had to move on. "At least it didn't find a body," she said, adding, "There is still a hope." Another resident arrived, pleading with the workers to check his family's house next. Wajima now resembled a ghost town, most heeded to early warnings to evacuate when tsunamis were forecast, and now their homes are too damaged or unsafe to return to. The point of people, car, and house alarms, crashed and activated by the quake, provide some of the only sound here, though at the end of one street, a surviving vending machine plays eerily upbeat jingles on repeat. At least 73 people are now known to have died in the quake. Wajima has the largest death toll so far, with more than 3 dozen confirmed fatalities, but that number is expected to rise. Some parts of the town are still cut off by ruptured roads and landslides, with help unable to reach people. Other areas on the remote Noto Peninsula on Japan's west coast, where the quake struck, are also isolated. Further north, the north of Suzu, is inaccessible by road, and the scale of the destruction is unclear. According to the town's mayor, Mushiro Izumiya, almost none of these houses are standing. Around 90% are completely or almost completely collapsed, he said. A small tsunami struck the city 1 minute after the quake. Food and aid are arrived by boat, but local officials told us they were having to go door to door to check for survivors. More than 30,000 people are still in shelters, with some towns lacking water, electricity, and internet connection. One woman sheltering at the evacuation center in Wajima with her injured husband told us that even at the center there was not enough food and water, and the quays at the only open shop snaked down the road. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced plans to multiply the number of military and rescue personnel providing relief. He has admitted that rescue effort has been hindered by the extreme damage to the road. Japan is one of the most seismically active countries in the world, and activity has been increasing around the Noto Peninsula since the end of 2020. There have been more than 500 small and medium earthquakes here over the past 3 years. This has bred a false sense of security among some who live here. "We always have an earthquake here, but I just didn't think we'd get a big one like this," said Toshio Iwahama, whose home was badly damaged. "I didn't take it seriously. I thought we were safe." At 82 years old and recently widowed, he is worried about how he will pay for repairs. Now it is the aftershocks that concern him. There have been more than 200 tremors since the earthquake struck on Monday. Warning alarms screech out of mobile phones just before the ground shakes, forcing people in and out of their homes. Some are apprehensive to retreat indoor to shelter from the cold and rain. But it is the memory of major past earthquake which has reignited people's trauma, especially after the enormous quake and tsunami of 2011 that triggered the Fukushima nuclear disaster and killed nearly 20,000 people. Japan has made itself more resilient to earthquakes and tsunamis over the years, and so have its people. Houses, roads, and nuclear power plants are safer, while residents are more alert and prepared to respond. But Monday's earthquake has shown these tremors have the power to surprise and devastate the country. It has shattered people's hope here on the Noto Peninsula that they will be spared a big one, leaving some fearful of what could come in next. Toshio Iwahama knows now he is in the mercy of the earth, and he is unfortunately placed home on top of the Pacific Ring of Fire.